So, and not using an offhand, you're getting no flame tongue or a second windfury if you choose to go that way. I personally use flame tongue instead of another windfury, mainly because the damage that comes from flame tongue procs off of every single strike. It's pretty substantial over time, and having flame tongue on your weapon increases your overall spell damage too, which half your damage, sometimes if not more, comes from our magic abilities. All your shocks, your lightning bolts, your lightning shield, which I see a lot of enhancement shamans do not spec into the what's it called? The static shock. But if you don't, you really should. Give it a try for a while, watch your meters, you'll see why it's good, and you'll probably stick with it. It's basically like having sword spec for an enhancement shaman, like a rogue or a warrior or something like that. But in my opinion, it's better because we have a lot of abilities that will actually boost your straight up lightning shield damage. 2 piece bonus on our tier set gives us increased damage to it. Improved shields gives you increased damage to it. It's just really nice. So yeah, totally pick up stack shock if you don't have it. It's great. So yeah, that's about it as far as the pros and cons versus dual wielding and using a two-hander. As you can see here in the video, the first round where I used the two-hander, my DPS was not so hot. It just wasn't. It's very rare that I go to any sort of 25-man pug, not necessarily my guild, because most people in my guild are badass, but pretty much any pug I go on, I'm always number one. And sometimes I'm out-damaging the next person underneath me by quite a bit. It's not uncommon for me to get questions regarding this, and people asking, how the fuck do you do that? Sometimes, a lot of times, other enhancement shamans in the same raid group with the same kind of gear that I have, if not better, and they are just not throwing out the kind of numbers that I do. And there's really two things that contribute to that. One being, which most people should know about this, if you don't, shame on you, but is your hit rating. If your hit rating is not at least 367, which is the hit cap, theoretical hit cap for spells, you're doing something wrong. You need to have at least 367 to make sure all of your spells land, which you really need to fucking have that, because that's where a ton of our damage comes from. Also, landing those spells is really important, because if they crit, it's going to proc Elemental Devastation, which is going to give you an additional 9% crit to all your melee attacks. So, gotta have that. Gotta have that hit. I usually stay at 400 or higher. And the second thing, which a lot of people don't know about, and I've got a lot of questions about this regarding watching my last video, is a mod that I use, which seriously makes a huge fucking difference when playing this class and this spec, and it is a mod called Shock and Awe. What it does is, it's a priority modder, because shamans, enhancement shamans don't work on a rotation, an attack rotation like a lot of other DPS classes do. We work on a priority system. You basically, the biggest one being whenever your Maelstrom gets to 5 stacks, to throw that instant lightning bolt out there, or chain lightning if it's a bunch of mobs with AoE. This is where this mod comes in the best, because it actually gives you an indicator showing you, almost like a combo point system, how many stacks of Maelstrom you have. When it's full, it tells you to throw the lightning bolt out there. You do, and it immediately starts stacking again. You need to have this. It makes a huge difference, and if you don't have it, get it, and you will see why it's almost mandatory. So thanks for watching the video. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to post, and thanks for watching.